Why, hello there, my fellow electrical engineers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Aquatic. Episode 6, Harnessing Tidal Power. Alright. So the future clearing room is almost free of debris. And then it will be a hunt for the sublimator, which I think there's a very high likelihood that there's bleach stone up there. I don't know. So that's probably where I would look for first. Cool. Yeah, it is all it's all swept now. Perfect. All right, with that done, it's not working until we have bleach stone, but it's as good as it's going to get for now. And if you're wondering the way that the gas works, if I open up the gas overlay, what I can do is I can just pump all the gas out. And then anytime any of the dupes breathe out carbon dioxide in there, I can wait until the carbon dioxide's right where the intake of the gas pump is to pump it out. And if it's ever chlorine, it just gets pumped, it gets filtered and pumped right back into the room. So I don't really need to vacuum out this room right now. There's no point until I have like a more reasonable source of power. So I'm going to hold off on that. Oh, a free rubber gasket? Yeah. Because I definitely don't want someone who's biohazardous or anemic. So yeah, okay. Current priority right now is tap some tidal power. So, in order to tap tidal power, here's what I want to do. I'm going to resume research. I'm going to get both sound amplifiers for smart batteries, and then advanced power regulation for heavy watt wires. And we're going to need to physically get access to these tidal springs. So we have a tidal... I have 3 rubber gaskets, so that's potentially 3 tidal generators. And we have 1, 2, and 3 all on top of one another. So I'm going to want to tap those, but I don't want them to leak out on me. Right? I don't need to make a giant mega mess. So let's plan an approach. Because I think there's bleach stone up here, maybe I approach these from the west. So what I'll do is something like this, where I have a ladder here that then goes to a liquid lock. Well, if I have a liquid lock, I'm going to want eventually an exosuit. So let's assume exosuits later on down the line. So we'll have a horizontal column here where I will eventually have exosuits. And then I'll incorporate a liquid lock around, let's say, here. And then this can then become some super hyper inefficient path up towards the tidal zones. And I know that this is like absolutely horrible commute time. I fully appreciate that. And then we'll have some salt water clean up, but like I'll just dump the salt water back into the ocean. Because if I dump it there, it goes straight down there. And this is sort of my like meh whatever liquid container. So if this seawater leaks here, it goes straight into this giant... Okay, it's fine. I will mop it, but like, yeah, it's not going to cause any issues. And there's no... This is zinc ore, so this isn't going to collapse on me because it's not sand. There is sand here, but I'm avoiding it with this horizontal climb. Yeah, so we're good. And there we go. The seawater going where seawater should be. Perfect. And then what doesn't leak, I'll mop so we don't get soggy feet constantly. Plus, there will be some, what I'm going to need to actually do... Hang on. Let's fill this back up temporarily. So that I can encourage the seawater to flow without me having to... Oh, God, not like that. Wrong way! Order of operations. Fail. Don't hold your breath. Move. What are you... Are you submerged? No, you're not. Okay. Then I can probably use this area here as like a power backbone, because this looks like a really large unused area of the map. And what I mean by power backbone is you're going to want to store your power in one central location, or at least this is how I'm going to do it. In my case, it's going to be in smart batteries. And then we're going to want either 1,000 watt or 2,000 watt transformers, or maybe 4,000 watt transformers. So there's conductive wires and then heavy watt conductive wires, and I'll probably just do regular well, I'll probably mostly do 1,000 watt for cost, and then on the few things that require more than 1,000 watts of power, because there's a few crafters and the like that require more than that, I'll do the higher watt. But yeah, that's sort of the idea there. Keep it real simple. Dupes are almost dumb as spawns. Yeah. Why is that unreachable? Oh, because I need to... Reachable now. All right, kick cows look fine. The addition of these... Oh my god, speaking of which, let's sweep them up and put them away. We have a good amount of salty stick food now. It's not my final food source, it's just a stopgap until I get like proper aquaculture. Or like aqua... What's the terminology where you... Aquaponics? Aquaculture aquaponics? Where, like, you have, like, food and fish together. This DLC kind of has that concept. You know, for instance, like, bloaters and lettuce or water leaf. You know, waterweed. That would be one example. Where, like, the waterweed produces lettuce, and then the bloaters produce oxygen, and you can do them together. Aquaculture, yeah. So eventually we'll get aquaculture, but one of the reasons I haven't jumped on aquaculture is until I have a reliable source of pearls, it's kind of hard to, like, implement. So I'm waiting on that. Alright, mop the rest. I don't think anything is going to spill freely. And I do have some starter pearls already. But it looks like there's tons of clams down here for pearls. So eventually I'll get down there and tap those pearls. Plus we can deliver some of the pearls to this person for another gasket, which might be nice if we want more tidal power or something else with gaskets. Eventually, we'll be able to use these gum palms and the wood to turn that into latex and latex into rubber for gaskets to be able to make our own gaskets, but it might be a minute before that is something that we can viably achieve. Alright, sound amps are done. Cool. So that's a smart battery, and the smart battery allows you to control the power the things that are drawn off of it. So the reason I have it is so that we can tell the tidal powers to turn off when the batteries are full, because the tidal power requires power, and or generates heat rather, and I don't want it generating heat when there's nowhere for the power to go. So I want it to lock it out and not have it run. So now that we have, this is a proper full lock, right? It's got a full tile, so there's just no way that air will leak out of here anymore because it's fully locked up. So I have that not as a sweep anymore, and I'm just gonna high priority mop up any mucin that's around, and then liquid lock it here. So this will be a sweep for mucin. For reference, the mucin, I shouldn't exceed its temperature tolerance, probably. Right? So it's 80C is not, like, if I'm ever at 80C, like, I'm already, my people are dead. Right? So I don't think we're gonna get to a point where it's like, oh god, oh, and yep, my intuition was correct. We do have bleach stone over here. Now the only issue here is this bleach stone is surrounded by sand. So I could get this bleach stone, but I have to avoid the sand unless I want all this brine flooding back towards me. Which means I want to get that bleach stone for my water filtration. Which is going to be a mining task looking kind of like this, I guess. But then if I want to get access to the tidal waves, I have to be more careful about that. So what I want to do is go through the abyssalite here, and then like swim over, and then like have a ladder bridge over to the other ones. But what I need to make sure I don't do is reduce the saltwater level in any of these, because if they're not submerged, they do not work. But let's not hit the bleach stone just yet, because that can wait. I'm gonna try to get the tidal power first. And if that's sweep only, let's sweep the mucin and put it where we want it in the liquid lock. So if we take a look at the temperature here, for relative temperature, the bleach stone is in a colder biome. So if I zoom all the way out, there's probably bleach stone here as well, because this is a cold pocket, indicating that there's a cold biome there, and this is a hot biome. And we already kind of knew that because there's tower kelp, thimble reeds, and buddy buds here, and iron, importantly. And the iron's really important because if we ever want steel, we have to go here for it. So again, here's the temperature. And it looks like there's a cold section down here as well. So we can kind of figure out where our bleach stone is going to come from. We don't need a lot of chlorine to get it started. Just a little bit is fine. There we go. We know where we're going. Keep using that water. And if we get more gaskets, there's like another tidal spring here and one there if we can get it submerged. So there's a lot of possibility. Like, I can submerge that pretty easily by just like building crap down here to raise the water level without even having to do any pumping. We could really be very ghetto about it. So there's a lot of potential tidal power around if we want to tap it, which I probably do. I like free power, and the whole theme of this series is to solve everything using aquatic means if it's reasonable and possible. So, tidal power will be our, like, primary source of power until we get other power sources. And there's other power sources as well that are relevant to this DLC. Did I sweep only? Oh, let's have that as a 9. Little extra encouragement to do it. So we're almost there. We'll get rid of the Starnacle, and then the plan is to go, like, up. I know sand is not very stable, so we're gonna have to go up and around to get access to this one. And then, like, through here, but avoiding the sand here to get access to this one. So it's gonna be like a delicate dance. You're super impressed with the lung capacity? Yeah! Dupes are given... dupes that have the basic swimming are given, like, a pretty... as you can see, maximum breath 100. They're given a pretty decent amount of maximum breath right off the bat, and then if you're a dive master, it's even better for swim speed and everything. Because this would be super frustrating if your dupes had, like, terrible lung capacity. So they're, you know, they're not saddled with, like, a horrible, horrible lung capacity that, like, renders them useless. Which is, thank God about that. So what I'm doing here is I don't want leaks. I want to keep basically the water level as it is, which requires us to have, like, a very weird pathing to these spots. But something like this. I'm not digging... Oh, crap. I'm digging natural back wall. That is not good. Let's undo some of these digs, because I don't want to get rid of the natural back wall by default. Okay. So that gives me access to the 3 tidal springs up here for power. And again, it's, the tidal turbines themselves only produce 300 watts, but it's, like, relatively free power. And I'll just drop them in now, showing you where they're going to go. And the idea is to put them all on a heavy watt wire and then feeding to a sound battery, or a smart battery, rather. And I haven't decided where the smart battery is going to go, but it's going to probably go somewhere around here. So we'll have... I would like this smart battery to be part of the base, not part of beyond the water lock or liquid lock. But for now, what I'm going to do is just drop a ladder down there, and then eventually cut access to the ladder and have that be incorporated into the base, so it becomes part of our, like, power grid inside to be serviced by an electrical engineer that doesn't have to go through an exosuit liquid lock. So, you know, I want access to that from both sides for now. Printables. Fertilizer, that's a weird choice. Shine nymph. We sleep here. I could have it just shine. You know, I'm just gonna have a shine nymph. Hopefully it doesn't wake me up. It is decor, and it is... If the shine nymph works its way over to the research room, it's like... I'm gonna auto this door, so the shine nymph is likely to, No, do it quick! Guys! Free research room illumination, if I can have it mosey the right direction. We'll see. I'll set the other door. Oh, yeah, here we go. Door, auto. Let's do that quick. Free light, organic light. No. Shine nymph, go east. Or get stuck there. I don't really care. Am I benefiting from that? No, okay. All right, let's open this one back up. We will trap you. There we go. Now auto again. Come on. my dupes are probably like, you psycho. You keep changing your mind. Come on. Come on. Do it. Do it. All right, there we go. Shine nymph is trapped. To be shining down on my research as a lit work environment. Oh, wow, we already have a tidal turbine. Yeah, well, I don't really have the capacity to do anything with that just yet. The other thing was we're going to need a lot of refined metal for the smart batteries, and I'm probably going to want more than one smart battery because the way these work is the tidal springs will have sort of like other vents and geysers and volcanoes. They suck in water until they hit a maximum, and then they hit the maximum and they expel the water. And only when they're expelling water will it generate power. So it's not constant flow rate, it's periodic flow rate. So the more batteries I have hooked up to this thing, the more likely I am to have power available to me at any given time, because it's not a reliable constant source. And the more of these you tap, the more reliable it will be. But and the other thing I'm gonna want to do is to also run automation wires to turn them off when my batteries are full. So it's kind of a lot of infrastructure for it, but I want it, so you know, let's do it. You thought it was gonna escape again? No, it's trapped forever. And then once we have some tidal power, I'll definitely make an effort to get the sublimator bleach down. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we can easily get. Oh, actually, I can't get this. I can't get these two because then the sand will come flying at me. I could if I like built this into from this direction, so I could get those, but it's slightly more annoying than normal. Yeah. All right, and how we are almost at heavy watt wire. Perfect. So I'm using the heavy watt wire because I can tap 3 of these on normal wires for 1,000 watts, but as soon as I hit a 4th, it generates, if they're all potentially on, it generates too much power and will burn out. So I wanted to just jump to heavy watt wires, knowing that there's more tidal springs around, so that the heavy watt wires can generate 20 kilowatts, and I'm not gonna hit that. So I'm going absolutely power overkill here, just so that I can do whatever that, you know, to tap as many of these as I want without hitting any sort of maximum anytime soon. And then from here, the smart batteries then will be hooked up to different transformers so that I can have more than 1,000 watts running through the base eventually. Future-proof. Exactly. It's just a lot of work now. And then I think let's focus on getting 1 up before I get all of them up. Start with 1. Also, the smart battery. The high threshold I'm going to have at like 98%, and low threshold I'll have at 70. So we'll run these tidal turbines somewhere between those 2 thresholds. And then what I can have is a manual generator eventually, which will only run like at less than 50 or something. So that we don't run hamster wheels unless we absolutely need to. Basically, when the tidal turbines are not generating enough power. Something like that. You wonder how many turbines you get in a normal map? I have no idea. But there's tons of them. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. That I can see right now. 8 maybe, if I didn't count those. 9. Something like that. You know, that's a lot of power if you add it all up. That's a lot of power. Dupe temp. I'm probably giving dupe temp warnings because I got too close to here. I don't really think that there's... Everything is pretty temperate, so I have no idea why it's telling me that. Maybe because it's a little cold here. But it's like 21°C. It's not even that cold. I don't know. I don't know why it's yelling at me. I can also have, what is the power leak? 200. The power leak of the smart battery is pretty low. So I think I want smart batteries just to reduce the power leak and just have an array of smart batteries, but only really one needs the automation wire because all the smart batteries will eventually have the same power level. So I can just read off of one battery rather than use some sort of like automation sum or anything like that. I don't need that. Or a wattage sensor. I don't need either. So let's prioritize the construction of this up a bit. So I can hypothetically hit a tidal turbine before end of stream. And then the other thing I wanted to do is... This power transformer is just like... I'm going to stick it in for now. It's probably not where it's going to eventually live. But we'll stick a power transformer in here and then to lower the wattage down to like 1,000 watts. Just so that I'm on tidal power. That's really what I'm aiming for, is to not have to run hamster wheel. And then we're going to need to move the hamster wheel once that's done, because we can't be adding power here in a battery or hamster wheel if we have a power transformer, because it defeats the purpose. So we'll have something like a manual generator here instead. Only be used if we have some sort of power shortage due to the lack of tidal availability. So let's get rid of the manual gen, and then once the heavy watt cables are built, I also want to get rid of this jumbo battery. And the other advantage is less heat generation in the heart of my colony, the better. Obviously, water is a really good, you know, it's a really good thermal stabilizer, or whatever. I don't know what the right term is, but because of its specific heat, it takes a lot to change the temperature of water, and salt water. And that's why we have massive... Of all of the DLCs, I think Aquatic has the most thermal stability as a result of the fact that so much of it is liquid, which is really a nice addition. Okay, so some of this is waiting for, I'm guessing, refined metal. I'm going to add refined metal to my... Oh, it is... Yeah, okay. 30. Yeah, let's raise this up to 7 as well. I think we just haven't punched enough zinc today. That sounds like it's dirty. Man, you punching the zinc? Oh, yeah, I'm punching the zinc. Also, we absolutely do not have our liquid lock. Like, not even a little bit. Oh, no, I guess there was a little there. I just didn't see it. Yes, when I have the stable green up everywhere, it messes with the cam. I know. It's pretty funny. That's why I don't have one of these like green lights, you know, for like go, because I would disappear. I would phase out like Scotty is beaming me. Priorities. So, who is going to be good at doing this? Rayvac? Should be. He's just not doing it. What else? What are you building? What else are you doing? I don't really know why. I mean, I don't have research queued up, so it can't be research. All right, let's stalk Rayvac. Let's stare at him. See what he's up to today. Rayvac, what are you doing? Well, okay, I don't have enough power to run the rock crusher. That's probably it, honestly. If I don't have enough power, maybe it's... It is the right time, because the jumbo battery is drained out, to destroy it. To remove this from the power grid. Because there's never a better time to remove a battery from the power grid from when it doesn't actually have power in it, so I'm not losing anything. Okay, so we're running on the wheel for this for now. New printables. Oh, I need algae. I have 0 available, so like that actually solves the problem. And then there we go. I just saw Rayvac punch some zinc. Cool. So the automation wire is set up, and we have technically tapped tidal power. So, the first tidal generator is online and working already, and I am going to queue up the infrastructure required for the other ones. I'm going to put it back. I wanted to... we're missing some automation wires, but what I wanted to do was to get... one running for sure before doing the others, because it's better to have one running and than 3 that are not in running. But there we go. Now this is engaged by automation wire because the battery is too low, and then when the battery tops up at 98%, I could have it 100%. I just wanted 98. It will turn off. And the reason I have the automation wire is this does produce heat. It produces 625 DTUs, so I don't want it running all the time. So then, battery is all the way up, and it disables and stops producing heat. Sweet! We did it! And then the only other thing I really want to do to this is to add a whole bunch of other smart batteries to the grid, so that I have just a whole lot of stored power from tidal turbines. Yes, the current liquid lock is pointless, and the plan was... Oh, what? Go eat. The plan was I have this ladder just to be able to make the cables, and then I'm just going to destroy it. What I was going to do is... Actually, let's do it like this. Power, heavy watt joint plate, plop it here, somewhere, and then it will be impassable. So let's turn the liquid lock on now. And this is only so that I can control what gases are in my colony. Because if I ever tap like hydrogen, for instance, I mean hydrogen floats, so it's not going to become a problem. But if I ever tap like chlorine or something, nasty or you know, I don't want it like flooding into my base for any reason. So I'll go A little overtime, just get that done. But we do need more mucin for a better lock. Technically speaking, this is a liquid lock because this tiny bit of mucin displaces and causes a lock there, but I'd rather have more, just like I did the other one. Which means getting more of that. Swept and mopped. So now with the joint plate acts as like a wall. I'll do that as emergency. And now we have no pathing between these two, right? They're physically separated, and there shouldn't be an issue. It's technically liquid locked. And the beauty here is I'm no longer running on the stupid manual generator as like a part-time job, at least not at the moment, which is awesome. Don't have enough zinc yet for more batteries, but you can kind of see how the power grid's going to work once I've got all of the required material, where we have a snaking heavy watt cable and automation wire going out to every Tidal turbine that we set up, and I generate all my power through Tidal turbine based, infrastructure, and I think that's a very aquatic way to do things, which is why I'm all about that. Keep punching the zinc. Rayvac was like, "Damn, my fists, they hurt." I don't care, bud. It's not a great spot to be producing heat, like next to our farm. So this is not a forever spot. That's a pretty bad spot for a crafting room, because the rock crusher is a pretty heavy heat producer. 16 kDTUs per duty cycle or whatever. So yeah, we don't want it there in the long run. Tidal, thank you for the resub. But you can see how I'm about to, very soon, triple my power generation, and without actually messing too much with the environment. Right? I'm not really displacing anything. I'm just leaving everything as is and just tapping what's there. Which is pretty good. And as Rayvac adds more refined metal to the grid, I'll be able to add more smart batteries, so we have more than 20 kilowatts, or kilojoules, sorry, kilojoules available to us. I'll bring that up to like 60 or 80 or 100 or something. Oh, and this liquid water is done. Yep. So it's 100 kilograms per tile of mucin. Unlike water, which is like 1,000, right? So it's a lot easier to make a liquid lock with finite liquid. So that is a full liquid lock. And the other advantage of this now is, now that I don't have manual power generation where I'm not like running the wheel, I can do things like carbon skimming, because things like carbon skimmer require just, it constantly runs and it requires a lot of power. So now I actually have the means to do stuff like that. Now, the other thing that I need to consider is I only have one transformer at the moment, and the potential load on my current wire is up to 1,500 watts, which is unlikely, because that's like everything running all at once, which is a rock crusher and a supercomputer, which Rayvac's only going to do one at a time anyway. But to break that down into separate transformers, so that I don't have well, it wouldn't be able to overload anyway, but break that down into separate transformers, so that I don't have a brownout rather than a overload. Because if everything's on a power transformer, it can't overload, it can only brown out. And brownout is a lot less destructive because it's not going to burn your cables. And Rayvac here is just like topping up the second battery manually, which is fine. Eventually they will equalize after enough time, so I'm not all that concerned. But yeah, the good news is we are able to keep the lights on without running that wheel, which is fantastic. I think also all of the polluted water. Let me take a look here. Liquid. Yeah, all the polluted water has outgassed. So I no longer have polluted water actively affecting the saltwater down here. So if I wanted to degerm it, which is really not all that necessary, I could just capture the seneschal and relocate it back. Well, that one's elderly, so never mind. It's already at like max health. What? Seriously, we had a morph and it was age 94 or like something like that. When it, fine game, whatever. But yeah, in the future, if we have any seneshells, we could plop it down there, and it would solve that problem for us without needing to run expensive tepodizer or something silly like that, or putting in a chlorinated environment, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Yep, and these two batteries are basically at the same, yeah, they're at the same power level now. Already equalized. And the intention was to continually add smart batteries until I can be far less reliant on shoddy power generation. Well, friends, I think, at least for today, this is where I'm going to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Aquatic, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I'm not, however, looking for feedback. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow duplicates.